I'm here. Let's get it started. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone here that can hear me say hello. Hey, nice shout out to my other persona out there known as Marching 8 to 5, where we showcase marching bands from across the United States. You can check them out over at marching the number 8 to the number 5.com. Approximately, gosh, how long ago was that now? Well, I'll just throw the year out. Back in 2009, I sought out to try and create a videographer company that would feature the halftime performances, stand performances, performances at parades, battle of the bands of HBCU bands, because unfortunately, TV stations such as ESPN, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox did not showcase the band's performances. At most, we would only get maybe 60 seconds of that performance shared on air. And you gotta understand, like, the students put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, hard work, muscle aching, back breaking work for only 30 seconds or less worth of fame on television. And after that, there was nothing to showcase it. And just think about even the schools that did not get featured from week to week. and their performances went untold. So, creating 8 to 5 entertainment, aka Marching 825, um, was birthed from that. And um, I have to give some homage out to some of the pioneers of HBCU videographers. Um, while marching in the band at South Carolina State University, there was another organization that led the way and paved the way forward for this realm to come to pass. On They are known as Double Time Entertainment. Um, Double Time was one of the first to present multi-angle performances, multi-game performances, um, and they did it well from week to week. They eventually worked themselves up to a travel schedule where they would go just like we did, multiple games across the country, featuring multiple bands each week, and highlighting the high levels of musicianship, the high levels of performance, and the spirit of music from marching bands. Um, I put in a good solid 10 years straight from 2009 to 2019, traveling up and down the East Coast, going to some of the battle bands as far out as Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee. And I'll say down to Florida, as far north as Pennsylvania, and I had a blast doing it. Um, Unfortunately, life happened. It began to take on a bigger burden of finance than I anticipated, ever thought about. And I had to step away from pursuing it so heavy, uh, to the point where I found myself in a mentorship role at some point. Um, a good friend and colleague of mine wanted to embark on the journey, and he's been at it ever since. And I've been quite happy as being an advocate and somebody that's a sounding board where he can bounce ideas off of, and um, all the way to giving advice on equipment and being there as a supportive friend and fan. Um, and he is now about to host his first Battle of the Bands. Shout out to Bandhead Network. Um, My friend Jerome Law over there, J Law is what they call him, has been putting in a lot of work, and I am proud of how far he has come. Um, he has built a fine platform over there as far as marching bands from the Southwestern Athletic Conference, formerly known as the SWAC. Um, me, I am a product of the MEAC, the Mid Eastern Athletic Conference, where uh, before COVID, we had a ton of um, big rivalries within the conference, even though the conference was so spread apart. Um, since COVID, we no longer have a couple of the teams in the conference, and the spark of what maintained the conference of MEAC um, has completely gone. Um, and what I saw was this huge shift over to the Southwestern Athletic Conference, aka the SWAC, um, over that last more than 10 years, more like 15 years. Um, the bands over there since when I initially started marching, which was way back in 2001 at South Carolina State University, the caliber of the performances of the bands over there has completely changed. The culture has evolved. And unfortunately, I haven't seen that in the Mid Eastern Athletic Conference. They are kind of stuck in a dark age. And it's not a knock on the programs itself, it's just what we have seen with what they have done with what they have hasn't matched up to what the the Southwestern Athletic Conference has been doing as a whole. Like with the addition of Bethune Cookman and Florida A&M from the MEAC over there into the SWAC, um, it gives that conference a different dynamic as far as when it when you're looking at the bands and even some of the shifts and movements with band directors leaving one program and going to another and revitalizing or completely rebuilding programs from the ground up in the SWAC. We have seen the fastest amount of growth in that conference band wise. And I'm glad to have been a part of that. Um, and still being a part of it just in the back end of things, as an administrative role, helping people get their media credentials and uh, helping with advice on how to edit and, the marketing side of things and promotion side of things and the post production aspect of things has been wonderful for me. I still have ties into the realm of HBCU bands. Um, I've even written for my alma mater, South Carolina State, which I have an original composition with them that they perform to this day, um, that I gave them back in 2007, and it was written in 2006, known as Max Power, um, and a number of other arrangements, uh, which would technically kind of go under the realm of a cover song of the marching band playing it. Um, uh, it's it's good seeing the new guys come into the fold of things as far as the band video side of it, because they have pushed the envelope a little bit more than I did when coming through. Like those 10 years, we did a lot of innovation when it came to multi games per week, multi-cam, and uh, the promotion side of things, being able to cultivate a look of HBCU bands on the internet. And I'm proud of being a part of that. Um, I still would love to be a part of it. I just don't know what role I will play in it in the future. And um, I kind of want to remain optimistic for that. It's just, I got to do a lot of regrouping as far as, because equipment wise, things have changed. And although I could still use some of my old equipment, it's just there are better things available to do a better job at what we were doing. Um, Cell phone technology has progressed exponentially to the point that a lot of the clips that we see on the internet right now are cell phones, and they rival professional cameras. And the fact that they're connected to the internet, people can live stream, if not post almost instantaneously. And that is kind of hard to compete against when you have to take a SD card out of your camera and put it into the computer to even get started as far as posting. And near my time ending behind the camera, that became very problematic because I was competing against people that had better computers and faster uploads. And so to stay up to par and keep up with the Joneses on things, man, it began to become very financially taxing. 'Cause, oof, cameras are not cheap. Um, Back when we first got started, we could find a camcorder for maybe $200. Now, the starting going price for a good camcorder is going to cost you five, six, 700, maybe even $1,000 just to compete. And that's not even talking about the audio aspect. That's just the visual. And um, I learned a lot on my own through that whole process and to be able to share that wealth of knowledge with someone else, um, and be able to gain from them too, based off of their current experiences, has been fulfilling for me. Um, I would like to someday host my own battle of the bands. So I'm gonna be taking this opportunity to learn from my brother J Law and uh, find out all that I can about hosting a battle of the bands, and hopefully in the future I'll have one of my own. Tonight, I have a few people here that stopped by and said hello, and I would like to say hello back to you to acknowledge your great presence here at Unveiled Vibrations. Hello, Mr. Dustin. Dustin Butler says, "Hi, I welcome you to the show tonight. Thank you for being on there." And we have Mr. JoJo Speaks. Hey, brother. He says, "Hey, Tyrone. Tyron, as many people may call it. Hello to you." And we also have the lovely J Star Bright in the place. Well, welcome, Miss J Star Bright. Glad to have you here. Uh, y'all, the title of the show tonight, Chamber is Silence. Um, I didn't have another name to name this because it's just um me talking, and I'm thinking about getting away from the two name show aspect of things and just unify everything under one show title, and whatever comes, whatever it is, it's just going to be under that. And instead of this week's show is music, this week's show is social commentary. It's just it's a show. That's where I'm going at with it. I just didn't know what to title it yet. I came up with Chamber of Silence. I don't know. And I really didn't know where to start things until I inadvertently ran the intro for Marching 8 to 5. And it was like, oh, well, shameless plug. There it is. I'm not sorry for doing it, but it happened for a reason, and therefore I spilled my guts about it and breaking my silence on that, because I don't really talk about that out loud anymore, and it's because of how I perceive how I walked away from, or not really walked away, just kind of exited things. Um, whew. And that was the end of that. Um, Meh, meh, meh. Um, I'll say this much. Lately, my headspace has been reflecting on everything that once was. And as I'm trying to ground in the present to look towards the future, I I can't help but look back and think about all the things that I used to do and felt good about doing, and whether or not I still feel connected or energized by doing it. And I'm gotten to the space where I don't know if I'm into any of this anymore. I still enjoy watching HBCU bands performances, and like I go through the analysis of it, kind of like the sports analysts do, and critique as a spectator. And then that kind of folds into me critiquing the production aspect of things and what I would have done different. um, I'm not sure if I would be. Could I get away with doing that right now? Uh, oh well. Um, why not? Give me a second. What I was thinking about doing right here, right now, in real time, is going to the L channel of Marching 8 to 5 and and bringing in a video or two. Um, kind of talk about uh, what all we did in that particular video. Hmm. Wow. Um, where do I go? Um, okay. Uh, yeah, I'll do that. That one there. Um, allow me to share my screen. And ladies and gents, this here is our channel, marching8to5.com. Go straight to our YouTube channel, Marching 8 to 5. This is second YouTube channel. We had to start over channel wise because uh, YouTube said that we had too many content ID claims for us to monetize it. And what was quite interesting was there were several of our colleagues that were able to monetize their channel and keep monetizing their channel for years, despite content ID. And it's just, okay, whatever. We'll start over. And this is what we have done since 2019. We started this channel here. Although we don't post as much as we used to prior to the pandemic, we are still active in the Northeast region. I kind of took a hiatus over here in the Southeast because of the amount of traveling I would need to do and not having funding available to do such. Tonight, I will share one of the videos that we did back in 2021. There was a bowl game here in Atlanta that featured South Carolina State University, my alma mater, versus Jackson State University, where Deion Sanders was the football coach. For that particular game, my alma mater brought us Marching 8 to 5 in as the videographer group for them for that game, and or one of the videographer groups, because it was 2 or 3 of us there. In this particular video is the halftime show, and tonight I would like to share some of the production aspects with you guys. Turn this shit up. First off, the intro. That is one of our staples that we had become one of the pioneers of, was intro reels. I want to say, was it 2010. I wanted to create something similar to the intro reels that you would see from the NFL, with all these different highlights of different players and such, but from the band perspective, and having a music theme song and everything like that, like ESPN and such. And for this particular one, I made a custom intro, including our logo and theme. And created a custom logo banner reel that featured the logo for the Marching 101 band of South Carolina State. And to open it, we started off with an opening shot of the top view from the stadium, establishing that we're looking from the spectators aspect of being in the seats in the arena, which was the Mercedes. No, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Was this the Mercedes? Yeah, it was. oh, so I'm a little lost in the sauce because I had the privilege of being a videographer for bands in Atlanta's both stadiums. Uh, the previous one, which was the Georgia Dome, and then the newest one, which is the Mercedes Benz Stadium, um, which the new stadium is immaculate. It's absolutely insane. Um, it's a little bit bigger than the Georgia Dome, and so um, it took me a second to realize that because they had to completely demolish and rebuild that whole thing up from the ground up. And if you saw the original Georgia Dome versus the newest one, your mouth would drop because of how dramatically different the two stadiums are. I digress. Um, so have our establishing shot, and then we start to introduce sideline views. We had three cameramen on the sideline to capture the band in the best light from multi angles. Um, as the band got onto the field, we kind of open up the story and allow people to understand that the stadium is huge and this band has taken the field, and this is the object of desire here for halftime. One of the aspects that I like to do here is find where the drum edges are and allow them to shine. Because when you see a band coming, this is the first thing that you see coming down the street after hearing them. Is the leaders of the band. And as shots progress, I introduce action shots where the band is making movements and going places, so you can see them in action. And as they make different formations, I show off the formations. That particular year, they had made a paw print for their mascot, which was the bulldog paw. And then they go into form in 101 on the field. And to showcase that, we did a pull on that shot to show off the full 101. And then as movement continues on, we captured a few more action shots of drum majors and different sections of the bands marching across the field. Kind of keep the energy of their performance going visually. some of the superstars of the band world are the dancers of um, the band programs. A lot of band programs bring in this aspect to give another visual aspect of marching band, um, to give a greater dynamic to the entertainment value that marching bands provide during halftime. Um, Dancers have long become the middle focal point of the show to give the band a break from all that high tempo energy that they come out the gate with, and to also give some beauty to the beast, as some people have called it. The beast being the band, being so aggressive, so edgy, so high energetic. They want to give you a bit of a break. So they introduced the dancers to give a little more eloquent view of them. As Sakura State, they're called the Champagne Dancers. Again, establishing an opening shot and bringing in close view shot and bringing out a full shot to let you know that there's something's going on. They're doing something to accent, you know, the sides of the group and different dance maneuvers that they're doing and telling a story in which it keeps you visually entertained and then engaged in what they're doing. Um, Currently, after the dancers' performance, the Marching 101 is performing the very song that I wrote for them called Max Power. They, in this particular year, chose to use it as a transition piece as they um, move from this formation and the feature of the dancers to the icing on the cake, as many as HBCUs describe it as their dance routine. Um, this is something where the bands get the opportunity to show off more than just the musical talent that they have. They get to tear up the dance floor, as some people may say. And um, it was quite an honor to hear that they decided to use that as their transition piece. Most of the time, um, Max Power was performed in the parades, if not in the stands, um, and that kind of gave me a, a bit of joy to hear um, my creation gifted to the band brought to life. Some of the things that the marching bands do during halftime is do chants, they do dance and play, and um, different maneuvers while playing the music. Some of these maneuvers are quite difficult and take a lot of time and practice to master being able to swing the horn left to right, up and down, and kick and swing their body in multiple directions. This is why I say these students put in so much time into performing to only have 30 seconds or less being featured is it's almost, in my opinion, disrespectful to just have them only have 30 seconds of it available. And bringing off the band off the field is um, the climax of the show, and a lot of bands come to the sideline and do what they call as a sideline blowdown, where they're performing at least one or two songs, like you see here, and dance and play. Some of them do, some of them just park and blow, as we call, where they just stand still and play. Talking State is one of the schools definitely that showcase their movements coming off the field to a song called Get Up for the Bulldogs, a rendition of Get Up for Downstroke. All right. Um, Going through um, as the editor of this, there were multi-camera men. I want to shout out all of them at this time. My brother Kenneth Brabham, Christopher Floyd Jr., Frederick Brown, and Jerome Law, um, and myself. We went in and did what we love, which was featuring bands in a good light and allow them to have something to go back on, and show their kids one day, and or have relive the memory of it, and being able to point themselves out and say that was me right there. um, you don't get that when there's a 10-second hand from left to right of the band just happen to be thrown in there as a transition image on television. You don't get that. And to have that as your only claim to fame is, oh, that was me over there. Wait, I gotta keep replaying it back over and over again for you. you just missed it. Uh, Yeah, that was me right there. Um, and that's your only memory, all callback. Um, and that's something that we at 8 to 5 definitely wanted to go against the grain of, because, like I said, these students put in a lot of work to perform and entertain thousands of people on halftime, just for it to just be, yeah. Um, I'll say it like this. Who knows? I may pick up my camera again. It's just, it's not in the cards right now. I enjoy doing the editing aspect of it because I could create a story visually and be able to recreate these fond memories for people, um, to go back to. And like I said, share with their family, share with, because 10, 20 years from now, their child might come across it and be like, hey, didn't you, weren't you a part of? And then they can sit there and watch with them and tell them all the things that they went through while getting prepared for this performance. Because believe me, it is a lot. Um, HBCU bands spend upwards over 40 hours a week. Like, as a college bandsman, during the fall, marching band is your job and takes over a huge chunk of your college life. And they deserve to be honored for their work. Um, I am happy that there are more HBCU videographers out there now that we can establish, a network. That was like one of my goals with Marching 8 to 5, that I wanted to establish a network of videographers that can go to multiple games each week, and we can display the multiple games on, um, our website slash YouTube, that would mirror what ESPN was to sports. How cool would it be if you could see games and performances from week to week, the game of the week, and we have 5 or 6 games going per week. I know with us at some point we were doing about 3 games per week, 2 to 3 games per week that we were featuring, from multiple regions. Uh, and eh, it was fun while it lasted. I would say that because we got to travel all across this country and kind of have the rock star aspect of things, being able to have the access that we did behind the scenes and sidelines, and be able to work with each other and talk with the band directors about all the stuff that they went through to um, get the band to look and perform how they did, and it is amazing at how much work goes into all of that. And I like to shout out a few band directors that helped us and schools that helped us establish Marching 8 to 5 as what it was. Uh, First off, um, I would love to shout out um, Me at Sweat Challenge back in 2009. We reached out to them after posting our very first video in 2008 with probably one of the most oddest requests that they could ever have at that time is give me a chance to show you what we can do. And for 10 years straight, we kicked off our season with the MEAC Sweat Challenge Bowl game. No matter where it was, we were there. No matter what band showed up, what school was being featured, we were there to promote them because they deserve to be promoted. Shout out to South Carolina State, my alma mater, for giving us a chance. Second on that list behind South Carolina State was Howard University. Reaching out to them while I was living in Washington, D.C., and them giving us a chance. The sports information director there, Mr. Hill, he loved the aspect of having Black men trying to achieve something. And hands down, helped us to establish ground in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. And from there, we were able to establish a relationship with Norfolk State. Mr. Matlick was somebody that also believed in us, as we came to these people with the utmost professionalism and courtesy and being able to articulate our desires and what we were planning to bring to the table. Brian Howard is another guy. I forgot what school he was at the time. Gosh, I forgot the gentleman at Bethune-Cookman in sports information there. I forgot your name. But I want to honor you and Dr. Wells, because you guys, when we reached out to you with our intentions, you gave us the hard questions, but you also gave us the benefit of the doubt and listened to us and gave us a chance to prove our worth to you guys. And because of that, we were able to grow even bigger than um than we ever thought because of these groundbreaking schools that allowed us to come in the time that it was unheard of. You want to just come record a band? Huh? What is that? That- Um, to allow us to grow as a organization, it allowed us to add additional schools like the North Carolina A&Ts, like the Hampton Universities, like Morgan State, like Alabama A&M, like Southern University, like Grambling University, Grambling State, excuse me, and it grew and continued to grow until the pandemic. Like literally, just before the pandemic is when things hit a pause, and we were we're grateful for the opportunity to become what we became because years down the line, wearing my t-shirt with 8 to 5 entertainment on it, and when it's recognized, people said some of the things that were quite interesting to me, to say that they grew up watching our videos. And I'm sitting there like, what do you mean you grew up watching our videos? And to understand that for a decade, we're talking about somebody that was probably in their later years of elementary school, if not middle school, early years of high school, and they're now in the marching bands, and uh, or even right now, some of the young men and women that's in the bands right now, um, they may have been searching the web for bands, um, just to look at a school over the years, and they come across our clips on YouTube, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember you guys. Oh man, I love you guys' videos." Um, to know that we impacted the culture of HBCU bands on the level that we did, I feel like we did something. I don't know. I don't like patting myself on the back, but I, we did something. Something that wasn't quite heard of at the time or quite popular, and became popular because of some of the stuff that we were doing. And here we are, years down the line. Um, I got some comments here I need to acknowledge. J Star Bright says you may need to send. Hold on, wait a minute. Get back up there. You may need to send this video to your 8 to 5 channel. Yeah, maybe. I'll consider. I might put it out in a community video. She says also, I believe we may have a second wind. Um, it's possible. Um, I don't know when that happens and how it's going to work and all that jazz. If it happens, it happens. That's how I feel about it. Because to know that we went from not knowing how to do anything to the doing the deep dives on the precursor to YouTube University and finding all the information that we can to now I deem myself an expert on videography. Um, and beginning stages of cinematography because I did have some experience directing uh, short films and music video and a few other projects along the way, like wedding and such. So this is, yeah, it if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. She says, "You better get to putting. You did it." Yeah, yeah. We worked incredibly hard to promote these videos and try to put them out as fast as we can, and to understand that anytime at a football game, uh, we were capturing 20 to 30 plus videos on multiple cameras and to have to go back and put those things together to make a complete project, uh, it was a lot. And work a regular 9 to 5 job. It was a lot because um, we did this for free for many years. Those 10 years, we did it all for free. We did it because we loved it, and the hopes to be rewarded financially through YouTube's um, it just didn't work out for us at that time. Is it something that we completely abandoned? No, not really. We're just aware that it's complicated. Um, Being able to monetize a channel is very complicated because um, mostly because of copyright and because of the algorithm. Some people will have more favor than others. There were some of our videos to reach over 100,000 views and become quite famous. And it was because we were there and sharing our visual uh, creativity. And that's the word I have. Our visual creativity of what we were, what we have learned and have created and crafted into a skill set. And yeah, that's all I can say about that is. Ah, man. Wow. Yeah, it's been an hour already. I'm talking about this. I had no idea I could do that. Um, Something else that was on my mind. Um, whew, y'all, it has been roughly about 2 years since uh, my invited guest has been here around me. Um, I am not sure how to do it other than to just rip the band aid off. Come on up here. Come here. All right. Come on in. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to my invited guest tonight. She is known as Monica. Monica and I uh we met in a music store in the Washington D.C. area, and 2001. Uh, I was about to go to South Carolina State University, actually, and the instrument that I had at the time, which was my grandmother's saxophone, it's an antique, um, and because I needed to go into a marching band, I didn't feel comfortable with utilizing that outside, and so my parents and I think I added some funds to it. I think I don't recall all of it, details on it, but we went to the music store, picked this one out. The one that I felt best with, I decided not to get because of how much it cost, and um it being a professional horn, I didn't feel comfortable with it being outside in the elements too. Um because with marching band, you'll be outside in the rain and in the sun, just like the football team. And boy, oh boy, did Monica go through it. Okay. Because we played together in the rain, in the sunshine, through the cold and snow. um, from fall 2001 through the time I graduated, which is spring 2006. Really summer 2006, but um, my senior recital was in spring 2006. And I've had her with me since 2001. Um, this has been my main instrument that I perform on. Um, I have a soprano as well that predates this as the second oldest instrument that I have. Um, she is also around here, but um, I haven't utilized her as much as this. And yeah, for at least 2 years, I haven't even picked up any of them to touch them, to press any of the keys on them, because frankly, I didn't feel worthy. Because I don't practice. And I kind of just felt torn away from them because of life, because you got to pay the bills. And it wasn't paying the bills at the moment. And, you know, kind of leaves you in a space of where I'll get back to it when I get to it. And currently, I'm just in a space of, man, I want to do stuff. I'm just mm, trying to find it. I just don't have the energy. And it's leading me further down this distant lovers relationship. Like, I love playing the saxophone. I love making music. I just haven't figured out how to how, how you would say make some type of profession out of it and do something great with it. I guess I don't know. And um, I have had these moments of where I just wanted to just pick it up and just feel how the weight of it felt, and potentially just blow a note or two through it and see where it goes. But then I feel like an imposter, like because I know the talent is still there, and it's like riding a bike, but it's hard. It's hard to, I guess, in my mind, justify just because at some point it hit me like as I think about professionally performing, um, because I wasn't doing it, I guess the way I used to, I wasn't qualified anymore. And instead of thinking about professionally performing, it became a hobby in my mind. It's just like it's just something to do, waste some time, something to do to take my mind away from the regular things of life. And trying to find a courage to even put air into the horn again is just eh. So I'm just guessing I just have to just rip the band-aid off and just jump on in there. All right. Well, I did it. First note, mm, in about 3 years, almost. Um, I don't know. Because I wanted to come up here and just go for broke. As you may not know, I feel the rest. I I feel the burn in my lip from not playing so long. Um, I feel the urge to run away and not um, present myself because I am unable to hear how this sounds on the internet. And uh, Jennifer is in the background in another room saying, "It sounds good." And it was so funny to me is like, I want to dismiss it. That ain't, I'm not my best. I can do better. I don't know if y'all hear her in the background yelling out, "It sounds good. Shut up." Mm-mm. Um, I had wanted to uh practice a little bit and test out the sound on the on a recording to know that the sound that I'm producing is the best possible sound that I could produce. And I don't know. She says it sounds good. That's one thing about not practicing for a long time. Um, you're gonna feel it. It's like that basketball player that try to go and run up and down the court with the young fellas after not playing for more than a year. It's gonna hurt. Um, where it's hurting me the most is right here in my lips. Um, and I gotta be honest with y'all. I also had been terrified of playing live over the internet because of not knowing how I would sound over the internet and wanting to have the perfect setup. Um, I think about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I purchased another mic um, for my saxophone. Um, in hopes of potentially being able to utilize it one day. And it has some features on it like the reverb and everything, different equalizers for different saxophones. Um, because I hadn't been practicing, I hadn't gotten into all the mechanics of the microphone, being able to adjust the settings to what I need it to be adjusted to and such. So I don't know what I'm doing with that, unfortunately. So I got a little bit of more to discover as I break my silence um, in terms of playing the saxophone live on the internet because it's a new territory for me. Um, I hadn't felt confident in doing it because I I'm a perfectionist. And like I said last week, because I was groomed into having to present perfection or seemingly perfection at the highest level possible, or don't do it. Hence why I'm very self conscious of putting myself out there if I'm not at a certain level. Um, and perhaps maybe this is the time to showcase that transition for me. I don't know. I've been asking God about it and trying to understand what is going on within myself so I could find fertile or solid ground to root myself in it and sprout from it. That's where I'm at with things right now. Do I have any songs that I could play? Yeah. I'm just not ready to play any of them. When? I don't know. It could end up being next week, for all I know. uh, Cause like certainly last week I was thinking about doing this. Pulling out Monica. If not, uh, the latest of the trio that I have. Her name is Pearl, and when I bring her up here, you'll see why her name is Pearl. Um, Jim may laugh a little bit about this, but the the oldest of the bunch right now, my soprano Latoya, is the more feistiest of them all. If I don't practice on her before she come out here, she gonna kick my butt the most because she hard to tame. When she get loose, ooh wee, she get loose. All right. Good night. I have worn myself out. I think. All right. My lips is sore now. Like really sore. Thank you for joining me tonight. As I crack through the chamber of silence. Um, you can follow me here exclusively on YouTube and TikTok at Unveil Vibrations, or listen to me musically as I release stuff, which I already have three things. Three lovely singles available on music streaming platforms, all except Spotify. Um, I'm against Spotify right now, so yeah. You can check out my out there at TD McCollum and follow my music page at Mr. TD McCollum. And you can cash at me if you like, Mr. TD McCollum. And if you want to chat with the boy, you can email me at apostletdmccollum@gmail.com. That's all I got for y'all. Good night. Nighty night. Night night to you too. Um, I'll see you next Wednesday.